Gavin Gee here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm here at Area 419 with Craig Arnson. Thank you for having me out.
Dude, thanks for coming. It's good to have you here.
Mind blown by what's going on here. We're filming a bunch of stuff. One of the things that we wanted to talk about are the new S dies. Now, to take a step back, we've actually already covered a lot with the M series dies. We've covered them a couple different times on the channel, covered kind of the reason for that. But we also had avoiding the dreaded clicker,
Absolutely.
right? Which was all about this correctness formula, the correctness of the brass, the rifle's chamber, and the die's chamber.
Yes.
And doing sizing appropriately. And recently, well, we did a couple of cool experiments. First, we took a .308 Winchester with alpha brass and we pushed it to the upper middle of 300 Win Mag velocities. Absolutely amazing. Varget powder. I had a first round impact at 1390. I mean, just mind-blowing stuff that we don't normally do with a .308. And it had to do with the strength of the alpha brass, the OCD technology. It had to do with the correctness. I had chambered the rifle with an alpha reamer, and then we also had the M series die, right? Most recently, we also took a piece of alpha munitions, .308 brass, same exact load, max load, and we fired it 47 times before we completely retired it. Now, we did have a crack that was forming from the mid-30s, and we didn't anneal. It was true torture test, max load, right? Again, this correctness formula allowed us to do minimal work on the brass each time. The brass lasted amazingly. You know, who needs more than 47 firings at max load, right?
Right.
That's
right.
amazing,
Alpha's
amazing
doing
results.
crazy stuff.
Yeah. So if you want more information on that, watch the .308 to 300 Win Mag. Watch the Avoiding the Dreaded Clicker video, which goes into all of the different dimensional consistencies that you need with respect to the SAAMI specifications. And then also watch the torture test. Okay, so that was around alpha brass, alpha reamers, and M series die.
Yes.
And the M series die has the micrometer adjustability, the spring-loaded decapper. It's got 1 1/4" threads. This is like the Cadillac of
The
die.
M series was our take on every feature that needs to be in a die to make it as functional and as user-friendly and as easy to use as possible. We put it in here.
And it comes in a killer case.
It does.
as well.
Super sweet. The downsides here, one, it's an 1 1/4" die, so you need a not all presses can handle that.
50 BMG press.
Or you can even use
Coax
a rock
XL.
Yeah, you can use a rock chucker if you take the
Sure.
insert out. But
Yep.
we know most M series dies are in zeros.
Yes.
And
Mine
we-
are.
Yeah, and we chose to roll out the M series first because it was the all-the-way product. And we also knew that we could, from an internal process standpoint, get better at making them. Making a die, the way that we're doing it, is not a terribly straightforward process. Mostly to do with managing reamers and how we're using reamers, how are we managing the hydraulic relief holes, all of the little eccentricities of manufacturing. We now feel like we've gotten good enough at making these at a repeatable, high level of production. It's time to make the S series die. Now, the downsides to the M series, like we talked about, are 1 1/4", and they're also pretty expensive. You know, you're at $450 for a die, plus a special shell holder, and then if you need a new turret for your press, whatever it is, there's a cost barrier.
It's an investment.
It is. So how could we step down the M series die in a way that still leaves you with a very useful standard die or S series die? The only real feature that we took out of the M series, which allowed us to do a lot of other things from a manufacturing standpoint, is the micrometer adjustability of headspace.
Okay.
So you set headspace with the S series die the standard way of you can screw it down a little further, back it out a little bit, or our recommendation is a 0 modular shell holder system. Or Redding makes their competition shell holders. They're a fine product as well. But
Which is going to incrementally change where that brass is sitting so that your headspace is correspondingly
while
offset.
retaining contact between
Yes.
the bottom of the die and the top of the shell holder.
Yes.
If you close that system and have your shell holder contact the bottom of the die, and then you're changing with hard contact via like our shims where that base lives, you're going to get a lot of consistency without a lot of guessing or fiddling or all of the oddities that come with let's back something out or go further in. So we've got the S series. It's reamer cut. The dimensions are correct as you've gone to in depth. It's got the interchangeable full-length expansion mandrels built in. It's got spring-loaded decapping built in. We want this to, as closely as it can, resemble the experience of an M series die, at a more manageable price point for more shooters, as well as being able to work in more dies. You know, you want to put this in your coax, go nuts. It'll do great.
Right.
So that's what the S Series is. They're ready now, and I think the thing that we really need to do here is let's use it and talk about it.
Let's do a demo.
All right, so in demo, we've got a handful of 6.5 Creedmoor brass. It's been lubed, put a little alpha lube on there, rubbed it all down. You have set our headspace and ogive measurement gauge. You've set that zeroed out.
Yep. Now, are we going to take another piece of brass here and just confirm?
Sure, you can.
Okay. So we'll raise this up. We'll go ahead and hit origin on that. There we go. Okay, I'm going to just repeat just to make sure that we like where we're going to come down to. Not quite. Oh, no, we settled down. Okay, there's our piece.
So I just have this set with our 0 insert. This is likely going to size a little bit too much. You heard the spring decap.
Yep.
We got full length size. Now I can feel coming back over that expander. And we have something that's sized. Let's see how close we are. When I set this up, I screwed it down the same way we have in our instructions. Screw it down with the ram up, drop the ram, screw it in a little over a quarter of a turn more.
Okay.
Crank everything down, solid. We're good. How much size you get?
4.5 here.
All right. So we're gonna go we're gonna add 2 to the headspace and try to get ourselves somewhere to 2.5 range.
Okay.
So all I'm doing is changing this little insert from 0 to +2 because we are adding 2 thousandths to our headspace length.
And those mandrels that you were talking about, are they the same part number there, or are they different? Okay.
You can take the same mandrel, same kit, and run it in an M series or in an S series. So you know, a lot of interchangeability there. Same decapping pins. You know, if you bust a decapping pin, which happens.
It's a consumable.
It is consumable. But if you've got a couple of M series dies, a couple of S series dies, you're mixing and matching. It's great.
Nice.
You can do it. All right, so we've now added 2 thousandths to the headspace. Remove a piece of brass. Put it in.
See where we're at here. Yeah, we're at -3 now.
Yeah.
So things spring back a little bit differently, right? We're at a 1.5 thou difference there.
And at the end of the day, it's a caliper. It's easy to be off by half a thousandths. You know, calipers are not micrometers, are not CMMs, and that's okay. And if we wanted to go more, we wanted to get to more like 1,000th or 1,000th and a half, half thousand, somewhere in that ballpark, we could go to the next shim, the +4 headspace shim in the modular shell holder. So, you know, it's how do you want to do it? It's what control do you want to have? And with the S series die, we have more options for more shooters at more price points. This thing's going to come in. It's going to be under $300. So it is a pretty substantial price difference from the M series die, but it's made of 17.4. Ultimately at retail, these bodies will be nitrided. And it's got all of the features that people know and love out of the M series, minus the micrometer, minus quite a bit of investment. You know, it's more options for more people.
Different ways to solve the problems.
Absolutely.
Different price points, different hardware setups. I think this is going to be really great, and I'm looking forward to using it. And, you know, when these are available, we'll let you know, and they'll be available on the Area 419 website.
Yeah, and through our network of hundreds of global dealers.
Nice. Okay, so what I'd like to know from you all is, what do you think of these new Area 419 S series dies? Are you using the M series dies? If you're in the market, which one would you choose? What would you be loading with it? Drop that comment. I'll start a discussion. Thank you for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.